Hey, my lovelies, it's me, author Alexandrian Fonte, coming to you with a new review. I'm not exactly liking how this camera is coming out because of the fact that I my my other phone is acting really weird, so I'm gonna try to do it on this one, and then I have to wait until the 23rd to actually get the charger to fix my computer. So we're pretty much gonna have to do them like this. I'm gonna check my other phone to see what the problem was, because you this is more like the computer, which kind of sucks, but the other phone actually shows me enough so you guys can actually see me. So just bear with me on this. Hopefully my issues will get fixed this uh by this weekend, and then next week we can start out fresh with the new submission. So tonight is Friday, and that means that it is an all everybody. Like basically we don't Fridays is the day that we do everyone. Um so basically, I decided to read yesterday a suspense. It's like a crime suspense. Basically, it follows these two detectives. Okay, here is the book. It's by C.M. Sutter, and it's called Greed, an Amber Monroe crime thriller. And here is the cover. Can I see that? Awesome. Now, basically, it follows Detective Amber Monroe and her partner. Um, is it Deb? Turn it. I think it's Kate. Kate. I'm sorry, and her partner Kate. And so basically, they get this. They're called to this crime scene, and it's two dead bodies. And the issue is that the teeth have been bashed in, and then the fingerprints are gone. And so the book opens with this one criminal for the so basically his name is McKinley, and then he goes into his boss. um and no, McKinley is his boss, I'm sorry. His name is Joe. And so he goes into his boss, and like they're laundering money and making counterfeit money. And so he goes in to tell his boss that he dropped off what he was supposed to, but the problem is his cousin saw what he was doing. And so the boss is like, what do you mean he saw what you were doing? And then he's like, yeah, he saw what I was doing. And so now he wants in on the racket. And so the boss is like, he acts really calm and like collected. And then he's like, and I'm supposed to do what with that? And then so he's like, yeah, he says if we don't cut him in, then he's pretty much going to rat us out. And so the boss is like, really now? And so he goes, well, why don't you finish what you're doing, and then why don't you bring in your cousin? And so he's like, okay. And he's thinking like everything's going to be cool or whatever, this Joe dude. And so he finishes, he wraps up what he's doing. Then he goes and gets his cousin, and he brings his cousin back. And so his cousin's like, so the boss is talking to his cousin, and he's like, yeah, and if you don't let me in on it, then I'm pretty much telling, I'm going to the police to tell them what you did. And so basically, before he can even finish that sentence, it's like the boss is like, pop, pop. And he popped him twice to the head. And then basically, I was just like, oh, okay. And so then the two detectives, they get the call, so they go out to the crime scene, and then everyone's like a little bit like freaked a little bit, because of the fact that they not only did they cut the perps like cut off their fingerprints, but they bashed out their teeth as well, so they wouldn't know who this is. And so basically this book is following Detective Amber Monroe, and then her best friend, I mean her partner, I believe her name is Kate Billings. they're pretty much following them and this crime, and basically trying to figure out who it is that has excuse me, committed this crime. And so they already know about this they already know about this laundering um crime, or racket, I'm trying to figure out the right word. This racket, so they already know about this crime boss, and so now it's pretty much just proving that it's him. And so I really like this book. It was a different read because I like the fact that you're following two female detectives, because there are some really funny parts in there where this one chauvinist guy is talking trash, and he's like, "I should just slap mine," and he slaps his knee, like it's so funny, and like she's thinking in her head, "I should just slap you," and just like the way that it comes up in the scene, I actually laughed out loud because it was funny, and so I really like this book. I think you guys will enjoy it as well, and if you like crime, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like SUV or something like it, even though it isn't having to do with, sexual crimes or whatever, like Law and Order, that's the vibe that I'm getting from this book, reading it when I was reading it. And so it reminds me of like that. So if you like shows like that, or you like literature like that, because remember, all Law and Order is basically a script, and then you have actors acting it out, but there's a book out there somewhere. So if you like this type of literature, then you will really like this book, because the characters are dynamic. They all blend, mesh together. And it's basically following these two detectives on this crime and trying to figure out well, we know who did it. And they pretty much have an idea who did it. But, these two guys, even though they were crooks and they were like, laundering money and all that kind of stuff, they didn't deserve what was done to them. That was just like really gritty and just jacked up. And so, once again, the book is called Greed, and it is an Amber Monroe crime thriller, and it's by C.M. Sutton, and you can find this book on Amazon.com. She is an indie author, and right now this book, like all the books that Jen has been sending me lately, which is so cool for you guys, especially with all this corona mess going on, this book is free right now, so you can get it off of Amazon. It's 263 pages, and she is an indie author, and it's free. So you guys make sure you go out and pick up this book, because this is an awesome read for free, especially now, because we have a lot of downtime. I really don't know what to do with myself besides reading, because of the fact that my computer is messed up, so I can't get online like that. I mean, I do have a tablet as well, so that's pretty much what I'm doing. But the crappy part is I have 6 books that are supposed to be releasing this year, like in June. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they're actually all done by June, because I'm supposed to be working on them right now. I mean, I finished book 15 in the Teaching Between Midnight and Dawn series, but I just got started on book 7 in a light fairy tale series when this stupid thing broke. I've never ever heard of that. Like, it's a charger, and I dropped it. Like, I was moving the computer from one spot to the other, and it had the charger plugged in, and I dropped the charger, and it hit the floor, and it like cracked apart. I've never seen a charger, a plug-in charger do that in my life. That was just really weird. I'm telling everybody out there, don't buy a Chromebook. They are like the worst, or an IdeaPad or Lenovo. Those are the worst pieces of what on the planet, because it's not a computer. They try to bill it as a computer, but it's not. It is a pad, and basically you have no RAM space. You have to download everything through the Microsoft Store. Don't get one. They're terrible. Seriously. They might be on the cheaper side, which I knew I should have got that. It was a sweet one. It was for 300. And then my son was like, "Oh, why'd you get this one? It's small. You take your computer everywhere you go." And I listened to him. I should have never listened to him. Anyway, so don't buy one. And that's pretty much it. I will see you guys tomorrow with a new review. Tomorrow we will be reading, let's see. I'm not exactly sure yet. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do. I don't really have any. Yeah, I don't think I have any YA on here. And then I don't know if they're actually, because like Jen sent me some YAs too as well, but I have no clue if these are indie authors or not. Usually, what it'll say under it is it'll say like sold by Amazon. This one's 244 pages. It has an ISBN number, but it doesn't have. Oh, I might read this one myself because it says. What is Okay, I don't know what's going on, but people leave the weirdest freaking reviews for no reason. They just trash people for no reason. I cannot believe this person gave this book a 1 star and it says, I don't think I can read this book. The characters are in Seattle. They asked the doctor of it would be safe to move to Idaho. The doctor says a lower altitude might be better for the patient. Hello, Seattle is nearly sea level. So basically, you're giving this person a 1 star because of the fact that they made the mistake of saying that Seattle. Wow, I cannot believe this. They literally gave this author a 1 star because she made the mistake of saying that Seattle was a lower altitude. Joel and Colleen, I'm sorry, you need to be put on blast. That's wrong. That's wrong. And then you said, I don't know if I can read this book. Please at least look at a map. Wow. See, that's the kind of stuff that pisses off authors off. That's not cool because there was no need for that. You didn't read her book. You don't need to be giving her a 1 star when you didn't read her book. Especially not enough. You read it on basically. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. So I'm going to read this book now. So regardless of whether this is what we will be reading tomorrow, because I don't like stuff like that. I think that's really rude. And it was not, it so wasn't like, it still wasn't called for because that's an altitude. You can't start someone's book that you haven't read. Anyway, here's the cover. It's called Hedgeling, The Shapeshifter Chronicles, and it's by author Natasha Brown, and she has USA Today best-selling author, and she is an indie author as well. And here is the book cover. It's very pretty. And so I'm actually going to read this book now because that kind of pisses me off when people do that kind of stuff. She didn't deserve a 1 star because you didn't read her book or because you had an issue with the altitude change. That's some BS. That's stuff that you are very, very effing petty. I'm sorry. I don't like stuff like that. Anyway, so I'm going to read it. That is who we will be reading tomorrow. And so I hope I haven't offended anyone, but I don't like stuff like that. I don't think it's cool. You can't review a book that you have not read. You can't leave a star review for a book that you have not read. That's not cool. So anyway, as the star review for the actual review that I did, I'm sorry, I got thrown off. That just made me mad. So tonight's author, remember, is C.M. Sutter, and the book is called Greed, an Amber Monroe crime thriller. And if I had to star this book, I would star this book a good 3.75 because it was engaging. It kept me in the book. I'm telling you, I felt like I was watching a crime show. That's how good she actually writes and draws the reader into the book itself. So I want you guys to go out and pick up this book. It gets a 3.75, and it's by C.M. Sutter, and the book is called Greed, an Amber Monroe crime thriller. Make sure you go and pick it up. And that's pretty much it. Tomorrow, like I said, we will be reading that book, Hedgeling, by Natasha Brown, because I want to read this book now, because I don't think it's cool at all that that person gave her 1 star and they didn't even read her book. It's like, come on, what's up with that? That's just wrong. So, and that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow with a new review. Thanks bunches, and stay safe out there. Continue to wear your mask, please. I see people all over California, like especially in LA, they just don't care. It's like, I don't give a. They are not wearing the mask. They don't care. And I'm just like, it's not cool, because there are older people that, even though you might not have the disease yourself, you could be a carrier and you could give it to like your grandma or whoever, which is what people don't seem to be getting. And so please, please put those freaking masks on. I swear you, one of my kids go out and get that and bring it back to me, I'll be so I'm telling you, so I'm doing. So basically, put on those freaking masks. And also, if you are a new subscriber, please click that little button down there and subscribe. And then click that little bell over there, which will give you a little alert each time we upload a new video. And that's pretty much it. I will see you guys tomorrow with a new review. Thanks bunches. Be safe. Love ya.